So reorganizational healing has been called a radically new big picture view of health and healthcare that challenges the dominant disease care model of biomedicine. That was said by Robert Blanks at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. Also, Dr. Kim Jobe said there can be no doubt that we are witnessing the birth of a powerful method of healing, grounded in rigorous scientific fact that will become integral to future systems of healthcare. So the real difference between restorative therapeutics, the traditional biomedical model, versus reorganizational healing is where your focus lies. If you think about driving down the road and you're only looking in your rearview mirror, you're not going to be successful and you're not going to get to where you want to go. However, if you're focused on the road ahead of you, you can actually see where you're going and you can get there a lot more safely and a lot more effectively. Another way to think about it is fear versus growth. In a restorative therapeutic model, we're trying to get rid of a symptom or even maybe trying to prevent something from happening, and that's a fear-based model. In a reorganizational healing model, in a wellness model, the focus is on growth. It's on development. It's about where you're going and the progress that you're going to have to get there. Now, there are 5 major components of reorganizational healing: somatorespiratory integration, the seasons of well-being, network spinal analysis, the 5 energetic intelligences, and then the keystone of them all, the triad of change. The triad of change really brings all of these together and explains how sustainable change actually happens. So let's talk about that one first. So as a great tool for creating sustainable change, we can use the triad of change. And really this is the key to reorganizational healing. So on the sides, we'll see perception, behavior, and structure. And in the middle, we see energy. Perception is just a chosen perspective or way of thinking. Behavior would be the actions that you take. And structure would be your form or vessel for medium. So when we're looking to create sustainable change, we can use the triad of change in order to do it. And really this is the key to reorganizational healing. If we think about So when we're trying to create sustainable change, we can use the triad of change to do it. And really this is the key to reorganizational healing. Now if you look at the sides of the triangle, you'll see perception, behavior, and structure. A perception would be a chosen perspective or way of thinking. Behavior are the actions that you would take on a regular basis. And the structure is a form serving as a vessel or medium for energetic or information exchange. In the middle, you'll see energy. And energy is really just fuel. Look at a few examples. Relationships. Now, in a monogamous relationship, you have a certain perception. You take certain behaviors, and then the structure of the relationship is a certain way. If areas of that triangle are incongruent, the relationship usually breaks down. Same thing goes in businesses and organizations. A lot of business owners have a mission statement. That mission statement is a perception about why you do what you do. The behaviors that you take in the business will be a certain way based on that mission statement. And ultimately, the structure of the business will be a certain way because of the perception and the behaviors that you have. Again, if there's incongruency there, often the business will fail or break down in some way. And last but not least, if you think about your body, your life, your health, you typically have a certain structure because of certain behaviors that you take and because of the perception that you have about your body or your life. One example here would be a professional athlete versus a weekend warrior. Now, the professional athlete is going to usually take different actions, probably have a different structure, and ultimately have a different perception about why they do what they do. That may not be the case for the weekend warrior. And ultimately, again, if there is incongruency within this triangle between the structure, the perception, and the behavior, it will probably be painful, and often people feel like they're stuck. An example of feeling stuck is this Charlie Brown cartoon. Charlie Brown says, "This is my depressed stance." When you're depressed, it makes a lot of difference how you stand. The worst thing you can do is straighten up and hold your head high because then you'll start to feel better. If you're going to get any joy of being depressed, you've got to stand like this. So this is a perfect analogy for the triad of change. Charlie Brown recognizes that based on the structure of his body, he feels a certain way. The behaviors that he takes create a certain feeling. So when he starts to straighten up, he takes a different behavior and changes his structure, and all of a sudden his perception starts to change. He feels better. He doesn't want that. He wants to feel depressed. So of course he's going to hang his head down, droop his shoulders, and start to feel depressed again. And this happens all the time. Even right now, just change the structure of your body and notice how different you feel.